Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to include many new elements and aspects to the Star Wars franchise that fans had never seen before on the big screen that'll also change how we view the entire Skywalker saga. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that one of the big characters that most fans are really looking forward to is, of course, the Jedi Master himself, Luke Skywalker, being portrayed by Mark Hamill once more in the Skywalker saga. Now, a lot of people are really crossing their fingers that J.J. Abrams is going to be able to really knock it out of the park, not just with this movie, but also the way he's going to treat Luke in the forms of course, flashbacks and in the form of a Force ghost. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very intense for the character of Luke Skywalker and actor Mark Hamill. Now, specifically, it's described that Mark Hamill shot a sequence during the month of January of this year where he was placed in front of a green screen and acting in a scene in front of both Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver as they were both knocked on the ground. Mark Hamill was said to have CG tracking tape on his face that will be used for the de-aging technology that is said to be next level, where the entrance of Luke Skywalker is said to develop in 3 phases in the form of a Force ghost, where Luke appears young like he was in the original trilogy, however in the form of a Force ghost and in his ceremonial robes, where Mark was slowly walking toward Adam and Daisy. The next involves a sequence where during post-production, the de-aged Hamill as Luke will morph into a middle-aged Luke, like the one fans saw on the planet of Crate with the short hair and the beard, where finally it's said that he morphs into the final phase of his Force Ghost form, where he appears just as he did when he died on Ahch-To, with the long hair and gray beard. It's said that J.J. Abrams plans to evolve the idea of Force Ghosts and what they are capable of doing not only with their environment, but also with themselves. So I really want to go over a couple of parts about this because we do know that Force Ghosts are evolving in the sequel trilogy and that this was all initiated by director Rian Johnson in The Last Jedi, that J.J. Abrams is now picking up and bringing it to the next level. Now, I really got to give credit to Mark Hamill because in case you guys did not know, Mark Hamill was able to improvise for this movie. He was able to come up with his own lines, at least for the third act and some of the flashbacks of this movie, by, of course, George Lucas and J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio allowed him to do so. So that, in turn, I believe that we're going to get a more true version of Luke in this movie, since Mark Hamill is coming up with his own lines in Episode 9. So that's one thing to really look forward to seeing in this film. So the other piece that I do want to go over is how the beginning of the transformation of Luke's Force Ghost is showing us the young version of Luke, how he was at the very end of the original trilogy, however in his Jedi Master robes, also known as the ceremonial robes. Now, what I like about this is that this would give us a nice glimpse of Luke Skywalker pretty much in the form of a Force Ghost, but at the same exact time being very young. Now, this is going to be a very unique experience, and I think that this is JJ's way of canonizing the idea of how Anakin Skywalker was young in, of course, the ending of Return of the Jedi, and how he was also older in the original trilogy, if you will, before the special editions, right? So I think that what they're trying to do here is that they're trying to introduce the idea that Force Ghosts are able to change their appearance at will. Now, what I like about this is that this gives us different versions of Luke Skywalker in one single scene. We get the young Luke, the middle-aged Luke as we saw on the planet of Crate with the shorter hair and the regular beard that's not gray, all the way to, of course, the older version of Luke around the age of 56 or 57 years old, where his long hair and, of course, he's got the gray beard, just as he was when he died on the world of Ahch-To. Now, like I say, this is JJ's way of really expanding the idea of what Force Ghosts are able to do, not just with the environment like Yoda did with the Force lightning, or should I just say the lightning that he used from, of course, the sky in order to burn down the Jedi Tree Library, but also as a way in order to literally have the Force Ghosts being able to change their own appearance for some reason, reason towards some of the sequel trilogy characters. Now, what I like about that is that, like I say, this gives us different views of the character of Luke Skywalker in the form of a Force Ghost. For the longest time, a lot of people are wondering, exactly how Luke Skywalker's Force Ghost is going to differ from the other ones that we saw in the original trilogy and, of course, in The Last Jedi. It seems like that JJ is trying his very best in order to make a Force Ghost of Luke Skywalker actually exciting and interesting, as opposed to just showing him, or showing us, I should say, just a traditional Force Ghost and something that fans would expect to see. So this, to me, I think really does open one's eyes and say, that's pretty interesting, that's pretty cool, and it's going to leave fans wondering as to exactly what else Luke Skywalker is capable of doing in the afterlife or in the netherworld of the Force. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to